Alrighty guys, so I had Curtis ask me about this time action plan and I sent him to Atomi, and then I thought, hang on, maybe I could provide a bit more explanation to this. So I guess the first question he asked was, what is a time action plan? Well, the time action plan is a pretty simple thing, a document that goes through, and on one column, we've got a column that comes down here and states the various headings that are found in your marking criteria. Now, the marking criteria is always based off, in Designer Tech, is always based off this HSC marking rubric here, which is how they mark your design and technology major projects. So as you can see, we've got all the headings down the left hand side here. This is for the project, for the intro part. Then down here we've got part of your project development, which goes through all these various headings here. And then here is the product evaluation, which comes at the end. Now, purely to save paper, they've split it up so it's not exactly in order, but effectively that's how it goes. This is the beginning part. This is the development of your product and all of that, and testing and checking out different designs and such and so like that. And then this is the evaluation end. Now, all of these headings should ideally be all the way down the bottom, coming down this left-hand column. Now what you're going to notice is I've got one heading here and then I've got a space. Then another heading here and a space. Another heading here and a space. And the reason that is because we need to do one for when we plan to do it, and then the other one for when we actually did it. Now, I realize right now, if you're asking how to do this now, it probably means that you haven't done it as you've gone along, and you should. Okay. You always should start one of these at the beginning. And I think students often get so overwhelmed by it, is that we generally do leave it to the end and then we fill it in and do a bit of a rough guesstimate. But ideally these should always be done at the beginning. Now, after you've got that done, you've got this column full of all of those headings from the marking criteria. You then go across and you list out the amount of time you've had to work on it. Now, generally for your HSC project, you'll do it in sets of terms. So you go term 1 with weeks 1 to 10, term 2 weeks 1 to 10, term 3, and so on and so forth. But for this one, you can just do a 10-week cycle. I think you'll have had about 15 weeks to work on it, but 10 to 15 weeks, I'm not overly stressed. From here, the next thing we need to come through and we need to highlight when we did things. So for this one, we're going to use this paint bucket tool, the fill color, and I like to use colors that I actually like the look of. So I'm going to say that I thought the investigation of the need was going to take me 2 weeks. So I'm going to come up here, choose the color I want. Then we've got areas of investigation. So just to develop that one list of areas of investigation, I thought it would take me potentially 1 week. Now, yours could vary, and once again, if you can show me that you can set this up, for this section, that's probably decent enough. There are a few other things that you can do to help boost that up, but yeah. For now, this would be great if you could show me that you can set one of these up. From here, we're going to go down to criteria for success. Now, I thought that would just take a week, and I actually thought I could do that probably in the same, I might do that one for 2 weeks, and then I thought criteria for success could also work in that second week as well. As you can see here, we start to get this flow-on effect, and not everything's happening in that first week. It flows on. Now, the time action plan itself, we work on that for pretty much the whole product. So I'm going to put that going the whole way along, because I think I'm going to have to keep working on that the whole way. Now, evidence of creativity, I'll dedicate 2 weeks to it there, and so on and so forth. And that's just going to continue flowing down like that. Now, you're wanting to do this one. This is proposed. So blue is equal proposed. And yeah, then from there, we want to go through and we want to add in colors when we actually did things. And so this is like, well, when was it actually done? And as you can see here, it doesn't always line up, and it's not meant to. Areas of investigation actually also took us longer, because we were working pretty slow on some of this stuff. And so you just go in and you're kind of guesstimating, hang on, when did I do this? How long did it take? Things like that. Now, your criteria to evaluate success was still pretty short there. This one, you're still going to say, well, you've worked on it the whole time. Now, of course, you can be honest, or you can lie in these. It doesn't particularly, it does matter, but it's not the end of the world. Things like that. We just work with what we can get access to, I guess. And that's what that's going to look like. And that's effectively what a time action plan is. Now, from here, we can tidy things up and make it look a bit more attractive. So we can, of course, make things bold, like like so. We can put in a giant heading. Now to put in a giant heading to run along here, you want to do like that. Alrighty, so yep, you can come through here to get this top heading, select all the way across for how many weeks you got in that intro one. When you're up to this merge and center one, click that. Then we can go ahead and type in time action plan. You can highlight that, bold that, and increase the text size a bit. Like so. Boom. From there, as you can see, we're starting to get a little bit more attractive here. We can come through and we need to add a bit of a thing up the top here to show that what our different colors are. So we'll be able to do that in a bit. You can go by going insert. Now we should be able to insert a text box somewhere. Yep. Insert text box. And then you should be able to draw a text box in there. Then you're going to write in the heading proposed and actual. Proposed, actual, get those bold. I might shrink those down a smidge because we want that to fit in there. We'll move this up to the top there like so. And it might struggle a bit. It takes a little bit of formatting here. Set that there like that, maybe a little bit off. We might even change that color text so that they can see that, hang on, this is a bit it. And you can actually write proposed time frame, and then we can color that in that blue. So we got that blue there. Actual completion time. We can change that one to green like that, and then we can go here, and we might even go P. And as you can see, some of this stuff does take a little bit of time just getting this prepped. And if you can hear that in the background, that is my stupid rabbits making a racket at, what is it, midnight. We'll just shift that across around about there. And I might double click this. Yeah. And then as you can see, when they come in, they'll see this, and they'll be able to see that, hang on, that's what those colors link to. Now, I do understand that took some time, and that's fine. From here, the very last thing you need to come through and do is to go from you've done a plan to, wow, they actually understand the concept of this. You're going to want to come across here, you're going to go insert again. You're going to come across to, there's a thing called comment. So if I shift this along, there's a thing called comment here. I mean, not comment, text, and you're going to insert a text box once again, and we can draw that in just here, and we can drag that across there. Now, the reason we do something like that, sorry, I'm on a 34 ultra wide, but it doesn't record well for YouTube. The reason you do this is because then you could go through and explain why it took longer. I initially thought that 2 weeks was enough time to identify the need. However, it took me more time than expected to fully understand the needs of the client. And so you'd put in something like this, and then you'd want to stretch this out a bit so that we can fit it into those the two columns there. Now, we can make this text smaller to get it in, because it's all about making sure that the marker can come through and see where your head's at, what you've been thinking. Now, you can, of course, go make this a little bit tidier, and I would always try and do that. So number one, we want to put an outline on that. We might go a bit of a 3-point outline. What's that outline shape going to be? I'm going to give that a purple outline. I'm then going to come through. And you could do that. Now once again, I'd probably recommend stretching this out a bit more so that we can get onto that one line. And yeah, as you can see, we've got to play with different things to try and fit it in. But effectively, you've now evaluated why it took longer than it needed to, or why it took longer than you initially thought. And that's the really key point in doing this. So time action plan identifies what you need to get done, and when you plan to get it done. So that's the proposed time frame. Then it says the actual completion date as to when you actually completed it. And then finally, it states why things didn't align how you thought they would. Now, I hope that makes heaps of sense. If it is confusing at all, please do not hesitate to let me know. Good luck, and keep me updated. Thanks, guys.